Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jai Jai Prabhupada Jai Vishwapad Paramahamsa Prabhupada Ashtottara Shri Śrīmad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Vishnupad Paramahamsa Prabhupada Ashtottara Shri Śrīmad Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananda Kodi Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem se kaho Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai 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 Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyama Kund Radha Kund Giriraj Govardhan Ki Jai Madhura Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Mayapur Navdev Dham Ki Jai Purushottam Kshetra Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai Grandhara Śrīmad Bhāgavatam Ki Jai Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande All glory to assembled to all glory to assembled to all glory to assembled to all glory Shri Guru Gauranga All glory to Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We are reading from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 7, entitled The Killing of the Demon Trinavarta. Verse number 5. Nandasya patni kritamanjanadikam Vipray kritaswastyayanam supujitai Sannadyavasa sragabhishta dhenubhi Sanjada nigdrakshamashishayajhanaihi Nandasya patni kritamajjanadikam Vipray kritaswastyayanam supujitaihi Annadyavasa sragabhishta dhenubhi Sanjada nidrakshamashishayachanaihi Nandasya patni kritamajjanadikam Vipray kritaswastyayanam supujitaihi Annadyavasa sragabhishta dhenubhi Sanjada nidrakshamashishayachanaihi Kritamajjanadikam dhenubhi Mataji. Nandasya patni kritamajjanadikam Vipray kritaswastyayanam supujitaihi Word to word translation responsively, please. Nandasya of Maharaj Nanda. Patni, the wife, Mother Yashoda. Krita Majjana Adikam. After she and other members of the house had bathed and the child had been bathed also. Vipraihi, by the Brahmanas. Krita Sastyayanam, engaging them in chanting auspicious Vedic hymns. Supujitaihi, who were all received and worshipped with proper respect. Anna Adaya, by offering them sufficient grains and other eatables. Vasaha, garments. Srak abhishta dhenubhihi, by offering flower garland and very desirable cows. Sanjada Nidra, had become sleepy. Aksham, whose eyes. Ashishayat, laid the child down. Shanaihi, for the time being. After completing the bathing ceremony for the child, Mother Yashoda received the Brahmanas by worshipping them with proper respect and giving them ample of food grains and other eatables, clothings, desirable cows and garlands. The Brahmanas properly chanted Vedic hymns to observe the auspicious ceremony. And when they finished and Mother Yashoda saw the child felt sleepy, she lay down the bed with the child until he was peacefully asleep. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. An affectionate mother takes great care for her child and is always anxious to see that the child is not disturbed even for a moment. As long as the child wants to remain with the mother stays with the child and the child feels very comfortable. Mother Yashoda saw that her child felt sleepy, and to give him all facilities for sleep, she lay down with the child, and when he was peaceful, she got up to attend her other household affairs. We'll read next verse also. Authani kaulsukyamana manaswini samagadan pujayati vrajaukasa naivashranodvai ruditam sutasya sa rudan sthanarthi charana udikshayat. The liberal Mother Yashoda, absorbed in celebrating the Utthana ceremony, was busy receiving guests, worshipping them with all respect and offering them clothes, cows, garlands and grains. Thus she could not hear the child crying for his mother. At that time, the child Krishna, demanding to drink the milk of his mother's breast, angrily threw his legs upward. Purport: Krishna had been placed underneath a household handcart, but this handcart was actually another form of the Shakutasura, a demon who had come here to kill the child. Now, on the plea of demanding to suck his mother's breast, Krishna took this opportunity to kill the demon. Thus, he kicked Shakutasura just to expose him. Although Krishna's mother was engaged in receiving guests, Lord Krishna wanted to draw her attention by killing the Shakutasura, and therefore he kicked the cart-shaped demon. Such are the pastimes of Krishna. Krishna wanted to draw the attention of his mother, but while doing so, he created a great havoc, not understandable by ordinary persons. These narrations are wonderfully enjoyable, and those who are fortunate are struck with wonder upon hearing of these extraordinary activities of the Lord, although the less intelligent regard them as mythological because a dull brain cannot understand them. They are real facts. These narrations are actually so enjoyable and enlightening that Maharaj Parikshit and Shukadev Goswami took pleasure in them, and other liberated persons following in their footsteps become fully jubilant by hearing about the wonderful activities of the Lord. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapatantikam Vandeham Shri Guroho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanutam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanutamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchagalpadarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Paditanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Bhutair Mahatbha Ye Ima Puro Vibhu Nirmaya Shete Jetamusha Purusha Bhungte Gunan Shodashatmaka Solankrishishta Bhagavan Vacham Sime. Hare Krishna. Here Krishna's early childhood pastimes are continuing. We just finished with Putana Moksha, killing and liberation of Putana. Now, Mother Yashoda and Vrajavasis are celebrating the Utthana ceremony for Krishna. What is Utthana ceremony? Utthana ceremony is mentioned to happen 3 months after birth. So you have to imagine how little Krishna is. Just 3 months. And this ceremony is interesting because it is for the occasion of a baby is going to turn to his side. That's all. If you think about it, it is insignificant, right? The baby is turning to the side. That is Utthana ceremony. So in Krishna's pastimes, everything is a celebration. Every day is a celebration. Every moment is a celebration. Now, baby turning to the side, it's a big celebration. So that is Utthana ceremony. And because of Utthana ceremony, so many guests have arrived at Nanda Bhavan. So we can see here. Now, that's why the verse is starting with Nandasya Patni, mentioning to Mother Yashoda. What have they done? Kruda Majjanadikam. Majjana means taking bath. Who everyone in the house has taken auspicious ceremonial bath, and Krishna was also bathed very auspiciously. So this is Krita Majjanadikam. Then what have they done? Vipraihi Krita Swastyayanam Supujitaihi. So Supujitaihi Vipraihi. So the Vipras, the Brahmanas who assembled there to perform all different pujas for the protection and auspiciousness of Krishna, they have been already worshipped properly by Mother Yashoda, and they have done the ceremonies like Swasti, Ayanam, everything. The Vedic Brahmanas have done. Now, after that, they have been given flower garland, they have been given desirable cows. So, all these things are done by Mother Yashoda. And after that, what happened? She could see Samjata Nidra. Samjata Nidra means sleep. Nidra. Sanjata Nidra. So he was sleepy now. So then how do you see the sleepiness? Look at the eyes. In Bhagavatam class, the speaker can very easily see this. Whoever is sleeping. People think that I am hiding behind. But it's not like that. The speaker, when he's looking, can see who is sleeping, who is about to sleep. So that is Sanjata Nidraksha. Aksha means the eyes. So Sanjata Nidraksha, what he did? Ashishayat Shanehi. Ashishayat. So Mother Yashoda put him to sleep. So as it is mentioned, Krishna is lying down on the bed. Mother Yashoda also lying by the side, so that Krishna feels comfort and protection, as it is mentioned in the purport. A mother wants to make sure that her child is always protected, always going through no inconvenience. This is the nature of the mother. And now, who is this mother? This is Mother Yashoda. And who is the child? Krishna. So you can imagine what kind of protection, what kind of care Mother Yashoda must have. So even on a material platform, mother has so much of love and care. Now this is in its epitome, because this is Mother Yashoda, who is the perfection of motherly love. Vatsalya ras. He is the perfection. So she is manifesting this pastime. Here is a Uddhana ceremony. All the Brahmanas have arrived, all the guests have arrived. They have worshipped. Now Krishna is tired. Krishna is going to sleep. Then what happened? So, Krishna's pastimes have multiple purposes. Krishna's actions have multiple purposes. It is not just one. Externally it can be one, but there are multiple things which are going on. In Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami explains in the Adilila that we cannot even explain one movement of pastime of Mahaprabhu. So we can understand. So is for Krishna's. How can we explain? It is infinite. It is a bottomless ocean. That many things are going on in one movement of pastime of the Lord. One movement. So, is it possible to capture completely? No. Because there is no end to it. There is no end to it. It's Ananta Leela. There is no end to it. Infinite. So now, here, even though this pastime is narrated with just 2 or 3 verses, so much we can learn from this pastime. So much depth is there even for this little pastime. So this is Krishna. This is what we are dealing with here. So here if you see what happened, Mother Yashoda put the child aside and she went. So Krishna started sleeping apparently, and Mother Yashoda went. Why did she go? So she went to attend the guests. So that's why in the next verse it is mentioned, Yashoda is qualified as Manaswini. Manaswini means very broad-minded. So she is looking into the well-being and everything that is required for all the guests who have assembled at Nanda Bhavan, at the house of Nanda Maharaj. So she is doing everything. That's why she is called Manaswini. And she's doing whatever they need. And because of that, she couldn't attend Krishna And meanwhile, Krishna wanted some milk. And since Krishna wanted milk, he wanted the attention of Mother Yashoda. But since she was so absorbed in taking care of guests, she couldn't listen. She couldn't. And none of the Vrajavakasas, none of the Vrajavasis could listen. Krishna crying. And so, what did Krishna do? He just kicked angrily his little leg. That's it. He just kicked, flicked his leg. That's all. So you can imagine 3 months old baby flicking his leg. Is there anything significant about it? Generally speaking, no. It's insignificant and it is a daily activities. However, there is much more to it. So that we can see, we know that he wanted to catch the attention of Mother Yashoda. And for that, crying didn't work. And with his flick of his leg, he actually dismantled and demolished the whole cart demon, Shakadasur. And with that, he could get the attention of all Vrajavasis. So, 2 things happened simultaneously. Right? And this is what we can see in pastimes of Krishna. Next, we will see in Trinavarta pastime. In Trinavarta pastime, Krishna wanted to go for a ride in the sky. And immediately the wind demon came. Trinavarta took him high. And he had a good time. He had some fun. He became the lighter than the light when he went up. Then he became heavier than the heaviest. Then the demon was collapsed to the ground and he was killed. So, can you see? He achieved multiple things. Even Damodar pastime, Krishna achieved multiple things. He wanted to catch the attention of the Vrajavasis. He wants to do that. This is the nature of the child, right? Even we want to catch others' attention sometimes. A child wants to do that all the time, but we cannot do that consciously all the time because it can look a little bit stupid, but we try for that as well. So, this nature is coming from Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He wants everyone to be attracted to him. That's why he is Krishna. Karshati iti Krishna, all attractive. That is his nature. So in the childhood pastime, he is demonstrating that one after other. In Damodar pastime, he broke the yogurt pot. Later he broke all the milk, yogurt, butter, all the pots. Why? He wanted attention of his mother. Right? The same context. Krishna wanted milk and Mother Yashoda couldn't attend. Immediately he started his mischievous activities to catch the attention. So we can see Krishna always wants attention. Even in Kaliya pastime, after growing up further, Krishna achieved many things. Right? He subdued Kaliya and he gave a good time to entire Vrajavasis because all the Vrajavasis were assembled there and they could see Krishna dancing. So he demonstrated greatest of the dances like that. So Krishna demonstrated. In Govardhan pastime, multiple things happened. He crushed the pride of Indra. He started Govardhan Puja and simultaneously he gave his audience for 7 days and 7 nights to entire Vrajavasis. Can you see? So Krishna's pastimes, multiple things are happening. It is not just one thing. At the same time, we can see that in these pastimes, there is always tension. When you need tension, if you have a rope, if you have a string, a band, you pull from each side, then you can see tension. And Vrindavan is about this loving tension all the time. It's an action place. It's an action place. Always something new is happening. Can you imagine? All of a sudden, Putana came. Putana came. She was beautiful and she turned out to be most ugly witch who is miles long, 18 miles long or something like that, very long. And Krishna took that opportunity. So Krishna was playing on top of Putana's dead body on her breast like a mountain, and he was playing and showing, I am having fun here. Can you see this? What happens to the Vrajavasis? They are in complete anxiety. So when we see Braja pastime, we can see an ocean of bliss and we can see an ocean of sorrow. This is, so in other words, in love of the highest nature, there are extremes, extremities of happiness and the extremities of misery, but on the spiritual platform. So all the Vrindavan pastimes are in between these two tensions. We can see the fire of separation and bliss of union. So we can see this. So this is what that is going on here. And that's why Gopi says, Truti yugayate swam apashyatam. Truti yugayate, a fraction of a second experiences like yuga, a yuga means millions of years. So that much of anxiety, that much of tension. And this we can see again and again. In Putana pastime we can see. And here in the pastime of Shakatasur, just they could see that a demoness was killed, Krishna was saved, and that happened after a few days after birth, and it's only a few months passed, it's only 3 months. Now they could see that another demon is there. And this very naturally it is taking place because as it is mentioned here, there's a cart, and the cart is full of stuff which is thrown in the house. So it's a storage, basically a storage cart. And it is mentioned Krishna was placed under the storage cart for protection. For protection. Mother Yashoda thought it is safer because he's been protected in all directions, because there is a cart on top. But this demon, Shakata, had taken the form of this cart. And he is there. Why Shakata took this form? Because the previous demon who was sent by Kamsa, Putana, she transformed her form. She is very powerful, she is mystic, she is khechari, she can fly, she can change her form. This is her speciality. She can fly, she can change her form. So she changed her form, she deceived the Brajavasis, and she tried to deceive and kill Krishna. So next demon thought, no, this is not a good idea. This transformation of form will not look good. Let me a furniture. We say somebody is there, some places for a long time we say he or she is part of the furniture, right? Part of the furniture means you will not notice, right? It's so natural, it's there, it is given. Similarly, Shakatasur thought, I will be part of the furniture so that I will not get noticed. So this was the trick of Shakatasur. And so Krishna knew everything, and then he simply kicked and he was killed. The whole cart was dismantled. Later verses it is mentioned by the Acharyas that even Krishna's little leg couldn't even reach that cart. But still he was able to demolish the cart. Can you imagine? It's not that his leg actually touched. Even without touching, the cart was demolished. This is Shakatasur. And this is Krishna's mercy, is Krishna's childhood pastimes. Very attractive. And then, when we see this tension, this Vrindavan is full of this tension. You can analyze any pastimes, it is full of anxiety. It is full of stress. Why? Why? Why there is such intense tension in pastimes of Krishna, especially in Vraja? Yes, to intensify the love of the devotees. It is mentioned when you purify gold, if you had to purify gold, you had to apply high heat. So when a substance is exposed to high temperature, what happens? The impurities comes out and whatever is pure remains. You can see even when you make ghee, if you take butter and if you boil butter, initially it is very bad smell, right? And the impurities, black things you can see coming to the surface. So when you apply heat, the good and bad are separated. Whereas when it comes to pure devotees, when it comes to Vrajavasis, there is nothing to separate. There is no bad to come out. Rather, their good qualities, their love will become even more shown. It will become even more displayed. It shines. So this is the purpose of this. And because of these pastimes, the love is demonstrated for the entire world. Can you say that? So this is what is going on. We can see in the lives of acharyas the same thing. Do you find generally when we speak about the pastimes of acharyas, do we hear easy life? Have you heard easy life of acharyas? We hear the pastimes of Srila Prabhupada. Do we hear easy life for Srila Prabhupada? No, nothing was easy, right? Not just preaching, even before it was not easy, right? Running through the business, running through the family, not very easy. And childhood, you can see Srila Prabhupada's childhood in a world where the wars are going on right in front of him. As he's mentioned, the bombs are falling here and there. You don't see easy life. And later life you can see, even Prabhupada leaving the family, taking sannyas, not easy. Family life, not easy. And later preaching, even going to America, not easy. That in itself is traumatic, right? Going through heart attack. And later, life in American preaching, is it easy? No. But when a pure devotee is going through such stressful, difficult situations, their love for the Lord is demonstrated. It is shown to the whole world. Similarly, you can see Srila Prabhupada's Guru Maharaj, Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur. Was his life easy? He was received with stone pelting, right? In Vrindavan. The people were throwing stones at him because he was giving initiations to everyone, independent of caste and creed. There was a plot to kill him. People plotted, the caste Brahmanas, they plotted to kill Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Can you imagine? And they went to the police to bribe. This is the way to do it, right? Bribe the police, we will kill, so don't take action. Even the police said, he is such a saintly person, we cannot do this. It's true, we take bribe. That's a known fact. But for this, we cannot accept bribe. Can you imagine? So this is Bhaktisiddhanta. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he was also attempted to murder by mystic yogi, right? So much of opposition. So when we see the lives of any acharya, there are lot of difficulties. Why? Do they have to go through difficulties? No. We know the classic example of Pandavas. Do they have to really go for difficulties? Not really. Aho kashtam aho nyayam, right? This is what Bhishma Dev, lying on the bed of arrows, says. Aho kashtam aho nyayam. Aho kashtam. Alas. Aho anyayam. What kind of injustice is going on here? Why? These people are, these Pandavas, Dharmatam Sudha. He's a Dharmaraj. He's a son of Dharmaraj. He's Dharmaraj. He's the son of Yamadharma. And how he has to go through such injustice? Is there any justice in this world? This is what Bhishma Dev asking on the bed of arrows. So what is the purpose? The Lord is showing how a devotee acts in face of danger, difficulties, stress, anxiety. How a devotee acts. How a devotee is Krishna conscious. This is shown to the entire world. Now, the same principle is applicable for us. We are not Vrajokasa. We are not Vrajavasis. We are not pure devotees, at least not me. Now, in face of difficulties, how do we So when we go on in our service in ISKCON, we can see that many things happen without demanding, without asking for. Especially when we do service and when we organize things, organize anything in Krishna consciousness, we can always see that there will be some tension, some anxieties, some pressure, right? If not, you are not engaging enough in service. If you engage enough in any service, you will find some stress and anxiety. Is it true? So that's why devotees can work in 3 zones. One is relaxed zone. But we are not meant to be in the relaxed zone all the time. Sometimes it's okay. Next is stretched zone. Devotees, do we work in stretched zone? Some stretch. It is good. Stretched zone. And then, which is the one? Overly stretched. So, in our life, as devotees doing service, sometimes we will be in overstretched mode, and which is good. Sometimes it is okay. And that will be required to perform any important service. If you organize anything, if you organize preaching, if you organize any festival, there will be some stretched zone. And devotees should accept it. It is good for us. But if that stretched zone goes overboard, what will happen? It's like a string. If you pull too much, it can snap. So that is applicable to devotees. So devotees should generally work in the just stretched zone, not overstretched zone. Overstretched only sometimes. And slackened only sometimes. If one goes to overstretched, one can go through some slackened, relaxed mode. Not slackening in the devotion service, but one is not so much of pressure from the service or anything. One can be a little bit relaxed. But generally, devotees have to be little bit stretched, which is good. That there are plenty of things to do. I have a lot of things to do, which is good. Otherwise, mind can easily be slackened. It is mentioned about brahmacharya especially. A brahmachari must be very busy. Is busy so much so that if a brahmachari is, the head is hitting the pillow, should sleep immediately. Why? Then there is no time to think about anything else. So similarly, generally for devotees, one is anyway busy with life things. It's not just the service. With everything, one will be busy anyway. So that problem is not there. But still we do take responsibility for services for Krishna. And so we had to be a little bit in stress zone. And when we go through that intense period of service, that is the time our real qualities manifest. Means some qualities which are hidden within, which may not be in the surface all the time, but that come into the surface. So that is the time we had to think how we can follow Vaishnava etiquettes. You understand? How we can still be gentle. How still we can be caring. Because that is the time we really want to do something. And when we see impediments, we can be very reactive. Correct? So we all will be going through that time, one part or the other part in our devotional life, right? Where there is so much of tension, there is so much of stress. And we go through that. And that is the time we really have to be Krishna conscious. Because whatever is left behind, that can easily come to the surface. And this is very relevant in this pastime. Why? Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains that Shakatasur, the cart demon, is representing accumulated anarthas. Because a cart is a storage cart. In this pastime, the cart is a storage cart. And in the storage cart, we throw so many things. Like in house, householders know better about this. How we can accumulate things, right? If you have a garage, if you have a storage, you throw so many things. And after 1 year, is so many things. After a few years, it is like exploding. Right? And for brahmacharis, it is mentioned. His Holiness Kadambakanda Maharaj, he made a point. Brahmacharis, I can't remember, 3 months or 6 months, should check the cupboard. If we haven't used anything for 6 months, he said, give away or throw away. Don't accumulate. Can you imagine? Don't accumulate. So, which is possible because it's only limited space, so it's easier to. It can become challenging because of accumulation, right? So here, similarly, Shakatasura is showing accumulated anarthas, accumulated unwanted stuff in our heart. So this is Shakatasura, and Krishna can just kick. So what happens in our life, these unwanted things, the anarthas, they will come out when we are going through some stressful situations, especially in service. Because in service, we are in association of other devotees. And at that point, all these things will start manifesting. So actually, it is good. It's not bad. It is good. Krishna is showing, okay, these are the problems that we have to deal with. Krishna is exposing ourselves. Sometimes Krishna will first expose to ourselves. This is how Krishna has his ways of doing it. The anarthas, what Krishna does, Krishna first will show to us. To some degree, he will show to us. But if we don't notice, then it will be shown by other person who are close to us. Looks like something is there. And still, if we don't notice, then it will be exposed to few more people. Then more people will tell, you have to deal with this anartha. And if still we cannot do it, Krishna can even expose to the entire community. So it depends on what is our condition, how much is our acceptance. So Krishna can really expose. And if a devotee is sincere, Krishna will actually expose the anarthas to us. Through oneself, through others, through more people, through the entire community maybe. So Krishna will show us, okay, this is what you have to work on. So as a devotee who we want to make progress, we need to accept it. Accept it. Okay, this is my problem, I have to work through it. And it may not be easy. It can be difficult. We can see even devotees have gone through even very, very humiliating situations in their life. Humiliating circumstances. Give an example. So, a sannyasi falling down. It's a very difficult situation for an individual. Because it is on a very, very high platform, everyone is respecting, and due to whatever reason, one had given up sannyas order. Even it happened at the time of Srila Prabhupada. Giving up sannyas is such a difficult time, right? Can you think about, one is on top, everyone is respecting, and now one is going to the worst situation. So much so that Bhagavatam explains, it is one who is renounced in this way, and again, getting back to Grihastha, it is considered like eating one's own vomit. Can you imagine? This is the example given, eating one's own vomit. So we can see at the time of Madhudusha Prabhu, who established this temple. He played a great service by establishing this temple. He had to go through that. And Srila Prabhupada was so accommodating. It was so difficult for Madhudusha Prabhu to face Srila Prabhupada. He just went away from the society for some time. And then when he came and he wanted to see Prabhupada, so Prabhupada was sick, he was in Vrindavan. So Prabhupada first went to Delhi and he had long hairs, like the old time, like hippie style. He went back to the hippie style. And then he thought, how can I go to Prabhupada in this condition? So in Delhi, I think he did a haircut and he kept a long shikha. And he went with proper attire in front of Srila Prabhupada. First itself, Prabhupada said, oh, Madhudusha, you have a very nice shikha. You have maintained a very nice shikha. Prabhupada knew what is really going on. But Prabhupada appreciated. Can you see? And then Prabhupada said, where is your wife? Why didn't you bring your wife and child? Can you see? So Prabhupada accommodated. But if you see from a personal perspective, it is such a humiliation. So we can see many devotees apparently had gone through humiliations because of one's own act. It is Krishna is exposing. But who took upon that, okay, who accepted that, They got purified. They went back home to Godhead. So Madhusesha Prabhu, later he used to come here. I don't know how many of you remember here. Prabhu has said he's the emperor of Kirtan, right? He's the emperor of Kirtan, something like that. Prabhu was glorified, his Kirtan. I remember Prabhu coming here and doing Kirtans. A very humble devotee, but he was so ecstatic in doing Kirtan. He was doing Kirtan here, dancing and everyone doing Kirtan. So we can see, and he had a special connection to this temple because he was instrumental in establishing this temple. So Prabhu was telling that he is so attached to Sri Radha Vallabha. So this is the attachment we can see in devotees. He was so attached to Sri Radha Vallabha, even though he left decades ago and he was living in LA, still he was still attached to Radha Vallabha. And he said he actually told he had a big photo of Radha Vallabha in his apartment. And another devotee who was very attached to Radha Vallabha, who was also instrumental in establishing this temple and who was doing all the artwork, is Vaibhavi Mataji. So Vaibhavi Mataji, she drew that painting. You can see Radha and Krishna together. This is talking about in the 70s. She did this painting. You can see very advanced painting, very deep painting he did when she was in her early 20s. Can you imagine? So she established this temple, what you can see, kind of Rajasthani art architecture. She created this without even going to India for one time, and no internet, no chat GPT. You know, if you can, what is Indian architecture? You can see what is Rajasthani architecture. She couldn't find. She went to library to find some books, went to all these architectural books, but she couldn't find what is the temple architecture. So this is simply by inspiration they did this kind of structure. Can you imagine? Simply by inspiration. So there we can see the dedication of the devotees. So there, the point is, then Madhudesha Prabhu, he told that he had a beautiful picture of Radha Vallabha. And since Vaibhavi Mataji was going through sickness, we don't know what's going to happen. He gifted that Radha Vallabha to Vaibhavi Mataji. And because she was also very attached to Radha Vallabha. And she mentioned, when she came here, she mentioned she was so attached to Radha Vallabha. So when they constructed the temple in Utah, it's a big temple, right? It's a known temple, a huge temple, marble temple. So they really wanted dark marble Krishna to remind them about Radha Vallabha. So this is the attachment devotees have, even after decades, to the deities. So this is actually our practical way of showing our attachment to the Lord, because we have Radha Vallabha, we have Gaurnitai, we have Jagannath Baladev Subhadra. We can show our attachment by serving them, by remembering them. Then later, Madhudesha Prabhu, he was the first one to leave the world. He gifted Radha Vallabha a big painting, but a big photo probably, and then he left the world. Can you see? So this is the attachment of the devotees to Krishna. So the point comes here, for devotees may go through difficulties. Krishna can expose our anarthas and we have to accept it. And it is not easy. So this is part of Tapo Divyam Putrakayena Sattvam Shuddhed Yasmat Brahma Saukhyam Tu Anantam. Rishabdev says, what is Tapo Divyam? We have to perform austerities. Okay, there are many austerities in Krishna consciousness, including preaching. That is one of the big austerities. But in that, even dealing with our own anarthas, accepting and working on it, that is also Tapo Divyam. Putraka, or my dear sons. Yena Sattvam Shuddhyes, by which Sattvam Shuddhi, we get purified. The heart becomes purified. By that, what you will get? Because of that inconvenience, Brahma Saukhyam Tu Anantam. Brahma Saukhyam. This is what Vrajavasis are going through. That's what they are experiencing. Brahma Saukhyam. An infinite ocean of happiness. Brahma Saukhyam. Tu Anantam. Anantam means infinite happiness. So for us to get to that, we have to tolerate our own mind. We have to tolerate our own anarthas, and we have to work on it. And who will help? Krishna will help. Spiritual master will help. devotees will help. Ultimately, devotees are our well-wishers. Spiritual master is well-wisher. Srila Prabhupada is our well-wisher. Krishna is the ultimate well-wisher. So they will help. One time, one devotee told, I have so much of Maya to Prabhupada. I have so much of Maya. How can I deal with that? Prabhupada said, give all the Maya in front of me like a mountain. I will demolish, destroy that with one of my kicks. One kick I can destroy all Maya. So this is a pure devotee of the Lord. This is actually spiritual masters. Even we have so exalted spiritual masters in ISKCON. We are so fortunate. They can kick all the Maya with just one kick. Just like, Krishna flicked. Similarly, they can also flick and they can destroy all the Maya. But what do we need? We have to tell the truth. We have to expose ourselves. We have to tell them, I am going through these difficulties. Please help me. That is sufficient. This is we all have our experience. When we are especially dealing with our spiritual masters, when we go and we tell our problems to the spiritual master may directly give a solution or not. We can see that problems will be gone. Can you imagine? This is the power of spiritual master. Simply telling the spiritual master, simply taking guidance. We may think, oh, I didn't get an immediate solution. But just wait and watch. We can see that things will be taken care. So such connection to the spiritual master is very important for each and every devotee. So Prabhupada can kick, Krishna can kick, spiritual master can kick all the unwanted things, all the Maya in front of us. So this is demonstrated by Shakatasura. All the unwanted habits, anarthas are there. And Krishna is ready to kick. It can be old habits. It can be new habits. It's also mentioned Shakata represents lethargy. Shakata represents dullness. Dull. As devotees, we can go through that kind of stage in our devotional life even after many years, where we can take it for granted. Things are going on, some chanting is going on, some reading may be happening, I'm doing some service. This is being a bit lethargic. So which mode we are going through now? Going through the relaxed mode. And when that continues, our Krishna consciousness can be slackened. Relaxed mode can slacken our Krishna consciousness. That's why we have to be part of action. If we are in Krishna consciousness, we have to be part of action. Do you agree? We have to be part of action. Do some preaching, service, something is happening, it has to be dynamic. We have to be part of that. Otherwise, find a service which is dynamic, where there is action going on. We have to be part of the action. There is no time, so action. No, we cannot even count how many times we change the microphone, right? The action is going on. So this is I think we need somebody very responsible for the battery service. Because two things happen while speaking. One is battery, second is humble microphones. Right? If you see humble microphones, it's showing we have to be humble. Always a microphone will go down. So microphone stand and microphone battery. These are always a problem, right? Showing us we are still in the material world. Okay. So this is Shakatasur. So if we had to be part of action. So otherwise we should choose a service in which there is some action. And that is helpful for us. And now, understanding the Shakatasur, how come Krishna is acting in this way? Specifically, this childhood, babyhood pastimes are very, very significant to the entire world. He demonstrates this pastimes for the purpose to show the whole world. What he wants to show? Okay, he's showing this killing of the demons. He's showing this Aishwarya to show that he's not ordinary. But he is showing something even more important in this pastimes. What is that? What is he? He's showing something more important. Driving the attention that we can see in many pastimes. Yeah, all these pastimes, Krishna is demonstrating something even more. What is that? There is a verse, Bhagavatam also says, Darshayan tadvidam sloka atmana bhrityavashyatam vrajasyovaha vaiharsham bhagavan bala cheshtitaihi. What is showing? Darshayan tadvidam sloka. He is demonstrating something in Vraja. Tadvidam. Those who can understand. Those who know about the Supreme Lord. Those who know about the Aishwarya of the Supreme Lord. Those who know the majestic aspect of the Supreme Lord. Here Krishna is demonstrating something in Vrindavan. So Vrindavan, okay, there is a loving exchange. Simultaneously he is showing something to the entire world. What is that? Atmanaha bhrityavashyatam. His bhrityavashyata. Bhritya means servant. Vashyata means being controlled by his servant. So Krishna wants to demonstrate to the entire world that I am being controlled by my devotees. He wants to show to the entire world. Ididriksa leelabhir ananda kunde so ghoshan nimajjantam akhyapayantam. Ididrik, in this way, he is submerging the entire Vrindavan in the pools of ecstasy. And at the same time is akhyapayantam. He's showing to the whole world. See, you are attached to my majestic aspect in Vaikuntha. See how I am being controlled by my devotees. He's showing that. And especially that becomes even more prominent in Balya Leela. Why is it so? Because as a child, Krishna cannot do anything, right? Before Prabhu was mentioning this point. Complete dependency on the mother. Complete dependency. A child cannot live without the mother. So that much dependency is demonstrated in Balya Leela. And by that he is showing I am being completely controlled by my devotees. So this is showing the Mahatmya. This is showing the greatness of Vraja Bhakti. So Krishna is showing the love of his devotees. He is demonstrating that again and again. So it is mentioned that the Krishna, he controls all the demigods, including Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma. Virinchi, Shiva, everyone is being controlled by Krishna. Everyone is fearful of Krishna. But Krishna now is showing that he is completely controlled by his devotees. This is what Krishna wants to show to everyone. This is the meaning of Vrindavan pastime. On one level, he wants to demonstrate that and he is doing that. So can you see another important purpose of Krishna? Darshayan tadvidam stoga. Darshayan, pradarshayan, showing the entire world. Atmana bhritya vashyatam. And so, it is so great, it is so relishable. Srila Prabhupada writes at the end of the purport that great devotees are completely relishing this pastimes. So this is a very important point for us to understand. Who is first relishing this pastimes? Who is relishing? Not just, okay, they are going through it. But now, just by hearing these pastimes, who is relishing? Who is relishing? Parikshit. Let's start with Parikshit, right? So Parikshit mentioned the beginning of the 10th canto in itself. Parikshit mentioned this point. Yeah, what is that? Naisha atidussaho kshunmam tektodam api na badhate pipandam tvat mukhamboja chutam harikathamrutam. Na esha atidussaha. Atidussaha means intolerable. Kshut, hunger, thirst. I am not affected by any of those. Why? Pibandam tot mukhamboja chudam harikathamritam. By drinking the nectar of Krishna's pastimes from your lotus mouth. So here, Parikshit Maharaj is relishing. So he spoke the 10th canto after a few days. No sleep, no eating, no drinking. Still he is telling that I am unaffected. So please continue speaking. In the 9th canto, last chapter, you spoke pastimes of Krishna. He mentioned about the Supreme Lord, but it was very brief. Now, in the first chapter, starting, please don't give me an abridged version. Give me the full version. So that to encourage Shukadeva Goswami, he is telling, don't worry about hunger and thirst. I am all good. Please keep speaking. Not finished. Let's go through all 7 days. At the end of 7 days, how many cantos were completed? You don't know? 12 cantos, right? 12 cantos. So 12 cantos were completed. After 7 days, 12 cantos completed. Then what did Shukadeva Goswami do? He spoke whole Bhagavatam. Then what did he do? He got up, turned back, and walked away. Can you imagine? Did he wait? Let me see what's going to happen to my disciple. Actually, it's if somebody is going through such a scene, the entire world is assembled there on the bank of Ganges, right? Entire world, all the demigods, all great sages, all great kings, they all wanted to witness what's going to happen to Maharaj Parikshit, because he's the emperor, and now they could get the audience of Shukadeva Goswami and they could hear Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. And Shukadeva Goswami himself, when everyone was assembled, Shukadeva Goswami, just a naked boy, he just arrived, he spoke entire Bhagavatam and he just left. He didn't wait for the snake bird to come and bite or Parikshit to go back home back to God. He didn't wait. Okay, then what happened? Shukadeva left. Now only Parikshit is there. Then what happened? Then his mother came, right? He had a narration of Bhagavatamrita, entire narration. What happened? Can you imagine? Any time the snake bird can come. And Parikshit has not eaten or drunk anything. This is not in the ripened old age where one doesn't have any hunger or thirst. No, he's young and strong. And he's fasting and he's completely absorbed in pastimes of the Lord. And then he was ready to speak Bhagavatamrita. So he gave the summary of entire Śrīmad Bhāgavatam in the form of Bhagavatamrita to Mother Uttara. Can you imagine? So he spoke also Bhagavatam. Still, he's not agitated. So that is the absorption of Maharaj Parikshit. So that's why he actually means it. Na esha atidussaha kshut, not affected, hunger. Or tektodam, udagam means water. That is also not affecting me. He actually demonstrated. So this is relishable. And that's why who is the next? We can see from Bhagavatam perspective, who else relished Śrīmad Bhāgavatam? Suta Goswami and the sages of Naimisharanya. Even they spoke the same thing. What did they say? Vayam, what is that? Ayam tuna vitaryama uttama shloka vikrame yachurnotam rasajnanam swadu pade pade. What are they saying? Swadu pade pade. So it is becoming more and more tasteful in every step. For whom I am to vitripyama. Na vitripyama. So we are not satiated. Anything else in the material world there is satiation. But vayam natu vitripyama. Never satiated. Uttama shloka vikrame. Uttama shloka vikrame. The wonderful activities of Uttama shloka. Uttama shloka means Krishna who is glorified with selected choice verses. He is Uttama shloka vikrame. Yat shrunvatam dasa jnanam. Yat shrunvatam, one who hears this. Dasa jnanam, who knows that, who can understand, who can relish the transcendental rasa. This is the quality of very advanced devotees. And they saying, swadu swadu pade pade. Every step there is fresh taste. So Krishna is Navayavanam. He is Navayavanam. He becomes newer and newer. He can show newer and newer beauty as he grows. Not like us. Our beauty will reduce. But Krishna, it increases. Similarly, Krishna's pastimes and Krishna's activities, their beauty also increases at every step. So that's why swadu swadu pade pade. Every step the beauty is increasing. So can you tell another person who was remembering and speaking pastimes of Krishna and who was very absorbed in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam? Okay, Lord Shiva. But who is actually narrating Krishna's pastimes in Bhagavatam? There are not too many places someone exactly narrating Krishna's pastimes. Who else? Shukadeva Goswami, we know. Sudha Goswami and the sages of Naimisharanya hearing. Uddhava, very important. Uddhava. If you see pastimes of Krishna, we can see Krishna's direct pastimes in the first canto, right? As the chariot driver. Then second canto, we don't see Krishna's pastimes directly. And then Krishna's pastimes appear again in the third canto, beginning. Second and third chapters where Krishna's pastimes within Vrindavan and outside of Vrindavan. So there, Uddhava, samuhurtam abhut tushnim. For a moment, when Maitreya asked all these questions, for a muhurtam, for a short period, abhut tushnim. Tushnim means he became silent. Krishnangri sudhaya bhrisham. Because Uddhava became silent. It is mentioned, actually, he went and he got in touch with the eternal pastimes of the Lord. Uddhava, even though he is sitting in the forest, he now went inside the pastimes of the Lord. He became so absorbed that Krishnangri Sudhaya Bhrisham, the nectar of the lotus feet of Krishna. Bhrisham, intensely. He was completely absorbed. So, Tivrena Bhakti Yogena. He was absorbed in Tivra Bhakti. Tivra Bhakti means intense devotional service, now in the form of remembrance. So, Nimagna Sadhu Nirvrtaha. Nimagnaha. He became completely submerged in the pastimes of Krishna. So he became silent. And then with lots of ecstasy, Uddhava started speaking Krishna's pastimes within Vrindavan and outside of Vrindavan. Can you see? So this is absorption in pastimes of Krishna. And with that absorption, if someone speaks, then the audience is also enlivened. It goes hand in hand. This is the absorption of Uddhava. And so those two chapters are complete nectar. So many beautiful verses in the second and third chapters of third canto. So many beautiful verses. And many of these pastimes are touched upon by Uddhava. He's tasting, just as Shukadeva Goswami, he's Shuka, because Shuka means a parrot. With the parrot's beak, the parrot only tastes sweet fruits. In the same way, Uddhava is tasting the sweet fruits of Krishna's pastimes. And with that relish, he's sharing to Maitreya. Can you see? Similarly, Bhagavatam in itself glorifies Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Can you see? You don't find that in many books. Self-glorification. But the Lord can do that, and Bhagavatam can also do that. Krishna does that, right? Krishna says, Manmana bhavamat bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. Worship me. I am the Supreme Lord. Krishna says, why? It is not out of ego. Rather, it is out of compassion. He wants to make sure that at least here, people are suffering, at least here. Similarly, Bhagavatam does the same thing. In which canto? Specifically, Bhagavatam glorifies Bhagavatam in itself. In which canto? Who can guess? Second canto. Yeah, first 3 verses. And one canto dedicates more verses for this. It is, yes, exactly. It is the 12th canto of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. There are so many beautiful verses glorifying Bhagavatam in itself. Very, very interesting if you think about. Tadeva ramyam ruchiram navam navam. Tadeva shashwan manaso mahotsavam. Tadeva shokar navashoshanam nranam. Yaduttama shloka yashonugiyate. Tadeva ramyam ruchiram navam navam. Tadeva ramyam, it is so attractive, so beautiful. Navam navam, ever fresh. Tadeva shashwat, always. Manaso mahotsavam. It's a festival for the mind. What is festival for the mind? Hearing about Krishna. Reading Śrīmad Bhāgavatam is the festival for the mind. Have you experienced? May not be. So, we have opportunity in front of us. So, we have right in front of us, we have opportunity of festival. What is that? Bhagavatam, Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. So, this is what we want to aim for. We should observe so that, okay, there is something in it here. It is so attractive. Tadeva Shashwan Manaso Mahotsava, not just normal Utsava. We say Mahotsav, Janmashtami Mahotsav, or Balaram Purnima Mahotsav. We can say so many Mahotsav. Similarly, Bhagavatam in itself is a Mahotsav. Can you imagine? Tadeva, Manaso Mahotsavam. Then, Tadeva Shoka Arnavam Shoshanam Dranam. Shoka Arnava. Arnava means ocean of Shoka. Ocean of misery. Nranam, for the people, Shoshana means destroys that ocean of miseries for the devotees. That's what I heard. Who was telling? Like a shloka a day keeps shoka away. So I said it's very interesting. Shloka a day will keep shoka away. Shoka means misery. Shloka means the verse. It's true. That is Bhagavatam. So that is Tadeva shokarnava shoshanam nranam. And what is that? Yaduttama shloka yashonugiyate. When we describe, when we hear, when we read the glories of the Supreme Lord. So we have that opportunity right in front of us on a daily basis. So let's try to develop some taste for Śrīmad Bhāgavatam by reading, by studying, by hearing. And now we are at the end of Purushottam month. Tomorrow is the last day, so it is very nice. So we can be absorbed in Bhagavatam, and let's continue that. So with this, stop and see if there are any questions or comments. Hare Krishna. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you for the nice class. Prabhu, you mentioned how a devotee's life is not very easy, as we see. You gave the example of the Pandavas and Srila Prabhupada. Now, when we look at our lives in comparison to them, it looks very easy. There's not many difficulties. So, can a life of a devotee being easy be helpful in a devotee's life, helpful in them to serve Krishna, or could that also be a show of special mercy from Krishna?
I'm just trying to understand. So the point is, is the difficulties helpful for devotees? Is that the question, or?
When we see our lives in comparison.
Yeah,
to
it's easier. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So is the easy life of a devotee
okay.
helpful in serving Krishna?
Yeah. So the thing is, Krishna will put us in a situation that we can handle. For any sincere devotees, not talking about pure devotees, even for any sincere devotees, the Lord will give only what we can handle. So why Krishna is not giving us heart attack? Right, okay, I want to show my devotion, give me heart attack. Will it work? No, it doesn't work like that. Because Krishna will give our circumstances, in our circumstances, can we be Krishna conscious? That is the question. We don't want more difficulties. We want only difficulties that we have. In these difficulties, can we do Krishna consciousness nicely? That's all we are asked for. So yes, as we have described this earlier, for a sadhaka, for a practicing devotee, it's not just karma. Krishna is personally using the karma and giving to us. So it is for purification. So water given to us is custom made for us. Tailor-made cloth, tailor-made karma for us. So it is not just the normal karma. So devotee's karma is specific for us.
That is a special mercy for us.
Yes, definitely it is special mercy. What is the verse we always chant about this? Tatte anukampam susamikshamano. Tat te anukampa. So that is anukampa, mercy. Okay. Thank you, Hare Krishna. Yes, Lakshmi.
Hare Krishna, thank you for the nice glorification of Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, just wanted to ask, you mentioned in the Harikatha that some acharyas explained that it was not even that Krishna touched Shaktasur, but Shaktasur still got delivered. So Prabhu, can you please throw some more light on that? Was it Krishna's Sanghar Shakti that did the job in that?
Who?
Was it Krishna's Sanghar Shakti who did the job, like to deliver Shaktasur? Like,
No. Yeah, the Krishna couldn't even reach, generally speaking, but Krishna's Shakti, Krishna can even touch it. Even if it doesn't reach, still he can touch it. That is Krishna. Krishna's leg, no way it can reach the top of the cart, but still he can reach if he wants. This is his potency. So for Krishna, it is immaterial whether it touches or not.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Anything else? Okay. If there are no questions, thank you. Hare Krishna. Grandhiraj Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.